Hey everyone, Sam here from Sugar Spun Run, and today I'll be showing you how to make apple crisp. Apple crisp is one of my favorite fall recipes. It's so simple to make, and I'm really excited to be sharing this recipe with you today. The first thing you'll want to do is preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. And now let's talk apples. I highly recommend using Granny Smith apples for today's recipe. They're nice and crisp, they're not too sweet, they are perfect for things like apple pie and this apple crisp. What you'll want to do is you'll peel these apples and you'll core them, and then we'll slice them to about 1/4 inch thickness. You'll need 2 pounds of apples for today's recipe. I've already gone ahead and peeled, cored, and sliced my apples, and as you can see, they're sliced pretty nicely, they're not too thick. This is going to help them cook up really nicely in the oven. Now we'll add a 1/4 cup of tightly packed light brown sugar, a tablespoon of all-purpose flour, a 1/2 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and a tablespoon of lemon juice. We're going to give everything a nice stir until the apples and the ingredients we've just added are well combined. Now that we have our apples prepped, we can set these aside, and the next thing you're going to need is 9 tablespoons of melted butter. Add 3/4 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract into your butter, and we'll give this a quick stir. And because we don't want this butter to be too hot when we add it to the rest of our ingredients that are going to make up our apple crisp, we're going to set this aside, let it cool a little bit more, and then you're going to need 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour in a separate bowl. In just a minute, we'll be combining the melted butter with these dry ingredients we're about to assemble, and this is going to make that nice, buttery, crisp topping that makes every apple crisp so delicious. Add a 1/4 cup of old-fashioned rolled oats, a 1/2 cup of tightly packed light brown sugar, a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 3/4 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. We'll use a spoon to work these ingredients together until they're nicely combined. Now we can add these dry ingredients into our butter to make our crumbly crisp topping. I'm just going to use my spoon now to gently work the butter and the dry ingredients together, but you don't want to overwork the mixture so that it becomes like a paste. You want this to be nice and crumbly because you're going to use your hands to sprinkle it over the apples for your apple crisp. Now we are ready to assemble our apple crisp. I like to use an 8x8 pan for this recipe, but you could use a 9x9 or an 11x7 instead if that's what you happen to have. Whichever you're using, you're going to want to lightly grease the bottom and the sides of the pan with butter. I like to use a glass dish, so keep in mind that if you're using a metal dish instead, it may need less time in the oven than this recipe calls for. Now I'm going to add my apples into the pan and spread these evenly. And now you're going to get messy and use your hopefully clean hands to drop that crisp topping evenly over your apples. Unlike some apple crisp recipes, mine does make a lot of crumble topping. I love this buttery streusel in every bite of apple crisp, so hopefully you feel the same. Our apple crisp is now ready to bake. We will bake this in our 375 degree Fahrenheit preheated oven, uncovered, for about 45 to 50 minutes. Keep in mind that if you're using a larger dish like a 9x9 or an 11x7 instead of an 8x8, or if you're using a metal pan instead of a glass one, it's going to cook a little bit faster, so you'll probably want to check things a little bit sooner. What you're looking for is a crisp that's nice golden brown on top, and the apples should be tender when pierced with a fork. Apple crisp is best enjoyed warm, but do make sure you let it cool for at least several minutes before digging in, that way you don't burn yourself. And that is all there is to making my favorite apple crisp. I hope you guys enjoyed this super easy recipe, and if you try it out, please leave me a comment and let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.